Greetings everyone, I am Lotus Prince, and my love of Resident Evil, I think, is known. I've been trying to go through the games in chronological order, and yes, it has been pretty slow going, but I've been doing it one at a time. However, when I did Resident Evil 2, I believe I made it clear that that was my favorite game in the series, and now that the Resident Evil 2 remake is out, I've had a lot of people saying, well, why don't you play the remake? Now, of course, it's the newest game in the series, but then again, Resident Evil 2 is not exactly a new plot development. It's the second oldest game in the series in that regard. So, I figured I'll meet you halfway. I will play Resident Evil 2, as requested, but we're going to take a look at the opening of the board game. Yeah, that's a thing that exists. Steam-Forged Games, the people behind the Dark Souls board game and the Horizon Zero Dawn board game, made a Resident Evil 2 board game. And I gave it a shot with some friends. It's quite fun. So now I'm going to make a video of it and show you the single-player version. It's the same game, but with one player. You're going to lose some multiplayer dynamics with it, but I'm doing this by myself for the sake of making an easier video, so we're going to take a look at the very beginning of the game in which we approach and enter the police station. Oh, and one thing you should be aware of, by the way. This game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. So get ready, because we are going to play ourselves some Resident Evil 2. Let's go crazy. Well, here we are with the Resident Evil 2 board game. I took the liberty of setting up the tiles and characters for you. Now you can see these are all just custom tiles you can move around on your own. These are doors. Admittedly, it is difficult to see if they're open or closed. It's kind of hard even for me. This is closed, and this is open. So we're going to be needing to remember that stuff. The red guys are zombies. This card with an A, I have 3 of these. These are predetermined. A, there's a B, and A. The A cards are 2 green herbs and 1 set of handgun bullets. I don't know which is which. I shuffled them beforehand. B, there's only 1 B card, so I can tell you right now that's the shotgun. This is my starting point. My goal is to go there. There's the exit to what is supposed to be the police station. This is scenario 1A. Now, to play the scenario, we're going to need a few things. One of them is dice. Unfortunately, I do not have any powerful weapons in this campaign, so I'm not going to be using the red dice. The black die, I'm actually happy I'm not using this time because this is the tutorial campaign. Here's the deal with how this works. I have the instruction manual over here, and what it tells me is that there are colored tiles. Now, the tiles are never colored in real life, but we have green, yellow, amber, and red. The closer to red you get, the more dangerous encounters are. And in encounters, this is just a sample one, whenever you go to a brand new tile, you roll the dice to see if you find any enemies. However, I'm playing the tutorial scenario, so everything is green, which means what you see is what you get. Normally, I would have maybe like 2 zombies on the map, and everything else I would walk into and see what happens. Now, my character, over here, is Robert Kendo. I had 4 characters to choose from. I had Ada as well, Claire, or Leon. Now, why did I choose Kendo? Each character has their own special ability. Leon has an inventory capacity of 8, and his ability is remaining cool under fire. He can use an item even if an enemy is on his square. Claire has the same inventory size and made in heaven, like the back of her jacket. Once per scenario, she can heal somebody else. I'm playing single player, so this is irrelevant. We have Ada, only 6 inventory capacity, but she has an ability where she can act outside of her own turn, but only once. And once per scenario, oh no, she could do the out of sequence thing as many times as she wants, but once per turn, and then she loses her next turn. It's kind of like, instead of 1-0-1-0, it's 1-1-0-0. But once per scenario, she could discard a card drawn from the tension deck without resolving the effects. I'll go into the tension deck later. Now I have Kendo. He only has 6 inventory as well, but once per turn, he can re-roll his dice from an attack and keep the results for the second one, as long as you're using a gun and not a knife. Now you can see weapons at the bottom of his card. These are weapons he is capable of holding. So Robert Kendo cannot use the Magnum. He can use the handgun, the shotgun, and I guess that's either the custom shotgun or the grenade launcher, I suppose. And he does not have very good escape. You see the inventory that says 6 to the left of that? The number 1 that's how many dice he can roll if he wants to try avoiding an attack. Every other character has 2 escape dice. So Kendo's not so good in that department, but he is in the attack. Then we have our health, which goes from fine to danger, at which point one more hit and we're dead. And we also have a handgun. Everybody starts with a handgun and a knife. Handgun, full ammo capacity. You see 15 shots here. Now the knife and the handgun, you roll the same dice for them, except the handgun can obviously attack at range. The knife can attack on the same space or one space away. The handgun can attack from anywhere as long as you could see the enemy. Can't shoot around corners or anything. And as for how they work, you see the little blotch here. One blotch has an arrow below it. The second blotch has a 1. That corresponds to the blue dice. The blue dice have, this is for evade, this is 1 blotch, this is 2 blotches. So regarding evade, I have 3 levels of evade, and then I have 1 blotch, 1 blotch again, and 2 blotches. So this means that it's actually not great to attack in this game because, well, at least with these weapons, because 1 blotch means it pushes the enemy away, 2 blotches means it actually damages them. Now, I'm playing the tutorial scenario, so the only zombies we're going to encounter, well, the only enemies actually, are zombies, and they only have 1 attack, the suicide lunge, where they dive at you and grab your ankle and then you step on them. That will do 1 damage to you, but then the zombie dies as a result. But the zombie only has 1 HP, so if I get a 1 in 6 chance of hitting them, then I win. Oh, and one more thing. This is a wall. I have to admit that these little things, it looks like what you would normally punch out of cardboard and throw away, but these function as walls in this game. So this is where it might pay, same goes with the doors, to invest in the 3D terrain additions. In any case, the way the game is played is quite simple. You have your activation order. You can take up to 4 actions. Move, so you can move up to 4 squares. Attack, again, up to 4 times. Open and close a door, that counts as an action. Search, trade, I won't be trading, I'm single player. Or use an item, so you could do any combination of 4 things before your turn is over. The reaction phase is when the enemy moves. If a character is in range and a line of sight, the enemy will attack you, but otherwise, they do things for enemies on the same or linked tiles, as long as a door is open for linked. And then tension phase, I draw a card from the tension deck. Out of sequence things, that's something I won't be worrying about because I'm not Ada. And then there are evade rolls, standard, large, or 3 standard, so that's how you evade against higher and higher level enemies. The zombies only have the most basic attacks, so I only need to roll a level 1 evade, which means I have a 50% chance of avoiding them. That's good. So, that said, we can begin. I start right in front of a zombie, so the first thing I will do is try attacking it. Remember, I have my handgun and my knife. Now, the thing with the knife is it doesn't have anything particularly outstanding, but the handgun, you see this symbol? It means anyone can use it. The handgun has this, which means I can roll, instead of 1 blue die, I can roll 2 or 3. But of course it will expend 2 or 3 ammo. So, here's what I'll do. I'm going to try attacking this zombie. I will roll a die. Miss. That's 1 of my moves this turn. I'll try rolling another die. I only push it. So, I'll take the zombie, and I will push it back, and I will move 1 space forward, and I think I'll actually end my turn early. So, now we have the reaction phase, where the enemy will move toward the closest character. Now, the zombie's movement appears to just be 1. So, it moves toward me. That's its turn. And now I draw a card from the tension deck, the scary door opening thing. These cards are predetermined. I don't know what order they're in, but I have selected particular cards to put into this deck. There are 18 cards. I draw a card. All clear. Your footsteps echo ominously over the ground before the sound is swallowed by the shadows. Good for me. The majority of the cards in this deck are all clear. Again, this is the tutorial scenario. Now, I will try attacking the zombie with the knife because I'm up close. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I attacked twice already. I'm already losing track, so I gotta reduce my ammo count to a mere 13. Now I will attack with the knife. So, got my die here. Nope, I'll try again. Nope, I'll try again. Wow, I actually got him. Good for me. So, this zombie is dead. Off the map. And I will use my last action to move forward 1. Now it's the reaction phase, but again, there are linked tiles here. I'm standing on this L-shaped tile. There's this with nothing in it. But then there's this with zombies in them. But I can't get over there. I have to go, well, actually, if that isn't a... Well, if that doesn't count as a wall, then I suppose this zombie should have actually moved the first time. I'm already screwing up this game. And now that my second turn is over, the zombie moves closer to me. I wasn't thinking. I could have just run past this room. I don't really need to enter this room unless I really want ammo or a green herb. Now I will take my turn. Oh, no, I will not. I will draw from the tension deck. All clear. Now I will move 1, 2, 3, and I will attack with my handgun. No, but now I will use my special ability, Marksman, to re-roll the die from my attack roll and accept the second result. Okay, I still failed. So, I reduce my ammo to 12. A little out of focus there, but trust me, that's 12. There, now it's a little more readable. So, that was a failure. So this zombie's going to attack me. He hits me, I take 1 damage, and I stomp on the zombie's head. He's dead. So now, I go from fine to still fine, but I'm a little nervous. And now we can draw from the tension deck again. All clear. There are 2 dangerous cards in there. 16 of them are all clear. Now, how do I want to finish this? I will do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to open that door, so those zombies will not hear me. That's my turn, and no zombies hear me, so they're not going to... Well... No, I'm on linked tiles now, I think. I'm not 100% sure how this works. Like, am I allowed to just go through here? I might not have been able to do that, actually, now that I think about it. So maybe there was... Yeah, no... Because we got the red lines. Wouldn't that count as walls, I think? I'll play this safe. Let's do 1. Open the door. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's do that. So, now no one hears me. Tension deck. All clear. And you know what? I'm in the room with nothing to do. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody hears me. All clear. 1, search. And it's a green herb. Okay. I can discard this to heal 1 HP. That's 3 items out of my possible 6 that I'm allowed to carry. That was 2 actions. 3, 4. And that'll be my turn. No one can hear me. All clear. Now, open the door. 1, 2, 3, 4. No one can hear me. All clear. Okay, now I'm going to change things up a little bit, because I'm getting toward new territory. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at the door. No one can hear me. All clear. Now things can get a little intense. Open the door. 2. I will attack with my knife, because I have 2 attacks. Let's move this die out of the way to avoid confusion. Miss. Now I will attack with my pistol. Miss. I'll use my action, my marksman action, to reroll. Well, I pushed the zombie. And it says I could push him to one adjacent square, so I guess I'll push him this way, if I'm allowed to do that. Although one thing I actually forgot is you are allowed to move diagonally. That wasn't relevant in the squares I've been in anyway, or the tiles I've been in. I couldn't go diagonally because they're just thin corridors, but in this room, the zombie is still within range. Also, I expended 1 bullet, so I go from 12 to 11. And now the zombie attacks me. I take 1 point of damage, he dies. Dead. I am now in caution status, and all clear. Now I will do 1, 2. I will use my green herb. You're out of here. I am brought back to low fine. And yeah, what the hell. Open the door. That's my turn. Zombie, you can't go through walls, so I don't think diagonal's happening here, so 1. And then tension deck. Still all clear. I'm getting lucky. Now, I will do 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't do anything from here, so zombie moves toward me. Can't do anything else. Oh, really? Undead Ambush. A dark silhouette is the only warning before glass shatters to jagged shards and death resumes its tireless pursuit. Spawn 2 zombies on the same tile as my character on the closest biohazard symbol. I have 2 zombies in hand. Well, it says on the closest biohazard symbol. By coincidence, there are 2 next to me. Do I put 2 on one or 1 on each? It doesn't really matter, though, because that's the tension deck step. Like, I'm actually about to end the scenario here, but normally this would be a freaking disaster. So now it's my turn. Open. Out. I did it. I beat scenario 1. Now, each scenario is designed to be its own thing, so I could just have this considered to be game clear. But there are 8 scenarios, so you could have continuity. I'm just kind of running through zombies and not really caring if they hit me, but otherwise I might... Oh, you know what? I never even rolled to evade zombies. That was my mistake. I never rolled to evade zombies. I got bitten twice. Just out of curiosity, let's see what would have happened. I would have evaded 1. I would have gotten hit by 1. There you go. So maybe I could go back to full health. I screwed that up. I didn't even try to evade when zombies bit me. Oh well, though, it's all good. I still cleared the scenario efficiently. So that's actually quite nice. Like I said, though, in future scenarios you may, if you wish, choose to use continuity. This is only a basic scenario. Other scenarios get way more involved. There are, like I said, each time you enter a room, you roll the die. You roll the black die to see what happens. You get 1 through 6, except the 1 is the umbrella symbol. And you spawn enemies accordingly. You have different enemy types. You can have locked doors. You can have key items you need to find, like keys for doors or MO discs and things like that. The game gets way more involved than what I'm showing you here. This scenario was what you see is what you get. Zombies exist, here they are on the map, you can see them way before anything happens and decide what you're going to do accordingly. But in more involved games, you can play with up to 4 players, and you could each be doing different things and trying to avoid enemies that way. Let's just see what the cards would have been. This was the other green herb, and this therefore was the handgun ammo. Discard it to give you 8 ammo back. Increase this character's ammunition dial for a handgun, custom handgun, or Colt SAA by 8 points. There you go. And by the way, in case you're curious about the shotgun, you roll 2 blue dice, not 1, and the 1 bullet hole or the 2 bullet holes do 1 damage. So the shotgun has a 50% chance of dealing 1 point of damage, instead of the handgun, which has a 1 in 6 chance of dealing 1 point of damage. So that's pretty nice. Also, when you get the shotgun, its counter starts with 7 shots, I believe. Or no, maybe it's 5, but with a max of 7, because I see the 5 on the upper right of this card here. And I think I mentioned this before, but LOS is simply line of sight. If you could see an enemy, you can hit him. Which means, yes, you can hit an enemy from across the room with a shotgun, even though it's a lot more of a close-range deal if you're playing the video game. Now, like I said, this is a small scenario, pretty simple. There were more tension cards we could have gotten. The only other dangerous one was Echoes in the Darkness. Place an Echoes in the Darkness token on the tile occupied by the next character I activate, which would have been me. If I'm on the same tile as this thing at the beginning of my tension phase, then I have to draw 2 additional tension cards, which can get you closer to some dangerous things. The worst thing I had here was 2 zombies, but there are other cards in other scenarios that can get far more dangerous. So that can get pretty scary. As you can see, Echoes in the Darkness is relevant in scenario... They don't even count scenario 1, which is what I'm playing. That's in the main instruction manual, but there's a whole scenario manual, which has 2 through 8, and this is good for scenarios 2, 3, 4, and 8. It's actually nice that the card tells you which scenarios it's relevant in. Like Undead Ambush, I guess it does say 1A here, but we got 2 and 3, not 4, 5, 6, and 7, so again, good for organization. There are more tiles, there are more dials for things like the Magnum and stuff like that, but we also have other enemies, which we never even tried to deal with. There's the G mutant, a boss character. We have Lickers over here. We have the dog enemy, and we even have what looks to be Form 3, William Birkin. I didn't encounter him in this scenario because it's just a tutorial, and as you can see there are still more cards to choose from that have items, both story and gameplay, and we have more tension cards, which can be anything. I actually haven't looked at them yet because I would like to be surprised when I play future scenarios. And all of this is just the base set. This was a Kickstarter game, and there are expansion sets, some of which I think are Kickstarter exclusive, and some which are not. So there are other scenarios, other characters, other enemies, like the giant alligator and things like that. So overall, this is a pretty cool game, and it's pretty easy to pick up and play. This is made by Steamforged Games, the same people who did the Dark Souls board game. I love Dark Souls, and I quite like the board game, but I gotta say, it took a lot of effort to learn how to play it. There are lots of rules that you miss the first time you play, and you realize in retrospect, oh, I should have done that. Here, I forgot about the evade mechanic, but that should have been obvious. That was just an embarrassing error on my part, but this game was way easier to set up and just go. So if you're ever interested in good old Resident Evil 2 action, then this is a pretty good way to go. If it's even if it's not the video game, it still has a pretty decent video game experience feel to it. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, everyone.